So it's been quite some time since I've last replied to comments on video, so I kind of want to dedicate this video to the most commonly asked questions about Hajj and Umrah that I've received, so that this may be a benefit to you. And you might notice my whole new studio here as well, alhamdulillah. So there's a lot of good things in the works. आप लोगों को और भी अच्छी क्वालिटी की वीडियोस मिलेंगी इंशाल्लाह जल्द से जल्द. And I will be doing this bilingual, so English and Urdu, so that's helpful to more people. I'll make sure to have subtitles on these videos as well. So I'm going to just cover comments and questions. So if you also have comments, I'll also cover those as well live here. So the very first comment that I see is from Hamzi2890, and he says that I didn't realize that there were tents in Arafat, and I thought only Mina had tents. And yes, I actually used to think that as well before I went for Hajj and before I educated myself on Hajj as well. I thought that Mina was the only place where you were in tents. In Arafat, you just climbed Jabal Rahma. But because alhamdulillah, mashallah, the amount of Muslims around the world and how many of us get the chance to go for Hajj every year, the number is increasing, obviously. So just to accommodate, now there are tents in Arafat as well. And you can actually be in those tents because it's still in what's called the Maqam Arafah. You can still be in your tent and partake in the Yom Arafah rituals. So ये बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है, alhamdulillah, that there's some sort of accommodation, especially for people who might have disabilities and things like that. It might be a little bit tough for them to go in the sun. Although Hajj is a test of difficulties, you still need to try to take care of yourself as best as possible. So, Kixes, Jazakallah khair, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Omar Bashir कहते हैं कि a downside is picking up my luggage from DXB then checking in again for the second haul. With kids, it needs to be more practical, and would definitely opt if traveling by myself. And that's for the video of me like planning out a Umrah trip. So kind of just give you guys a little bit more clarity. That video, I know there's some blackout dates for Hajj, but this video is kind of just to show you my overall process of how I book my tickets. And I just so happen to be planning initially to go during Hajj time. There are some blackout dates, but if you can get the Saudi before those blackout dates, you can still get into Makkah. I know there's a lot of restrictions. You might not get permits, but nowadays they don't really check on NUSUK anyways for Umrah permits. Not saying that you should go like that, but if you really do feel the need to go for Hajj and you are there, you just know that you are able to. It can be a little bit tough staying in some of the hotels in like Clock Tower and stuff like that because they might ask for the valid Hajj visa. But you should be okay with other hotels like 4-star that are a little bit farther away perhaps in Azizia and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. But I do really hope that video just at least gave you a good overview of how I book, how I kind of decide my bookings and how I try to save money. Basically, that's the main idea, is try to save you guys some money instead of going through travel agents. So definitely appreciate that, Omar. Bug Haga, Jazakallah khair for sharing. Inshallah, this year I'm going for Hajj, but Nusuk, it's hard to get packaged. Inshallah, I'm going from Pakistan. So I think you're going through short Hajj. Please do let me know your experience. I'd love to hear about that. MJR Star said that, can you select other airlines or do you have to choose Saudi Airlines? So when you're booking through NUSUK Hajj, like your package, you usually have to go with the airlines of their choice. But you don't have to buy those airline tickets. You can choose your own airlines. You just have to go on each individual airline's websites and see what kind of blackout dates they have. Because Saudi Airlines Saudi Airlines usually has the most lenient entry and exit dates for Hajj. So you're able to go there a little bit later and leave a little bit earlier, so on and so forth. So it's usually better to go with Saudi Airlines, but if you want to perhaps found a better fare on a different airline, just make sure to check out the blackout dates because that's super important. Brother Abu Bakr Saul, thank you so much. I want to go for Umrah in July after Hajj. This will be my first Umrah, inshallah. Oh, alhamdulillah. May Allah accept your Umrah and grant you tons and tons of blessings, inshallah. I'm going to follow this and do all the bookings myself. Alhamdulillah. I love to hear that. That's great. Becky says, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Thank you for the helpful video from Germany. I'm considering going on my own without travel agency since prices are ridiculously high. I have 2 questions. Is it possible to book only camp package and organize flight, hotel, Airbnb, transfer on my own? Yes, it is possible, except if you're going for Hajj. If you're going for Umrah, you can do everything on your own. If you're going for Hajj, you have to get, at the very bare minimum, the Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah package. You have to buy that through NUSUK. Or if you are perhaps like an overseas Pakistani, you can use shorthajj.com and they can accommodate for you. But usually you get a full package with hotels and everything with that, airfare tickets, things like that. And you usually have to go to Pakistan and fly from Pakistan to Saudi Arabia. So if you want to go bare bones and do everything yourself, you're going to have to buy just a camp only package at the bare minimum. But who knows that they're going to still continue that or not? That's not a guarantee because NUSUK has been kind of flip-flop with consistency, so we never know next year if it's going to happen or not. So it's always good to assume that it's always good to just be vigilant, and if I hear some news or anything like that, I definitely will keep you guys posted on that. So Brother Yahya asked, how long does it take for them to contact back? For now, I did myself. I can add my family now, or I have to wait until they hit me back. I'm assuming you're referring to NUSUK here. And Nusuk, they do take their time. Right now it's Hajj time, that you won't expect to hear back from them at all for quite some time. But you can go ahead and add your family and everything as well, and then your account will just be approved. But this will be for next year. Keep that in mind. As soon as Hajj and everything is done, they're usually pretty quick. I got my approval in about less than a week, so it was a couple of days. Zaman Makan asks, please help. The other family member's account is already created, and I cannot add that person as a family member. What to do? It doesn't even allow me to create another account because his passport's already uploaded. So can you purchase a package through that account? That's probably the best way. You can contact Nusuk to try to delete that if you don't see an option. But right now, you just have to wait until Hajj season and everything is over in order to do that. So best thing to do is, of course, to delete that account, or use that account and just delete yours and put everybody on one account. That's usually the best course of action if you want to go as a group and you want to get everybody together. If you were to book a package separately on that account, there's a chance that you won't be in the same tent groups and things like that in Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifa, etc. So do keep that in mind. Anud Said said, thanks a lot for sharing. This was really helpful. Jazakallah. Definitely my pleasure. Appreciate that. Mahmoud Levant, know you, brother. For the first night of Tarawih, I'm very surprised and saddened that the mosque was not even half full, even though it's an Arabic country. In Istanbul, mosques are usually completely full for Tarawih. Yeah, it is sad. I mean, to be honest with you, here in America, when you go for Tarawih, at least the first 10 nights, first 15 nights, mosques are pretty packed. All the saf, like in our language, we call them saf. I think also in Arabic that applies, but basically the rows of prayer, they're all full. So what we say in our language is Sari Safin Barimi, Alhamdulillah for that. So the mosque is usually pretty full. And then the last 10 nights, especially the odd nights, that's when it will be packed. You'll have to pray outside, usually in the courtyard if you get there late for Tarawih. There is a lot of brothers and sisters, and I'm also guilty of this too, who are part of the 8 Rakat Tarawih squad. So, we tend to leave right at that 8 mark. You have to wake up early next day, things like that. So for the first 8 rakats, usually in Tarawih time, that's when it will be packed. I know in Arabic countries, they only do 8 rakats, also in Saudi Arabia as well. But, in our countries like Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, I believe Turkey as well, they do 20. I believe, I'm not sure, I don't want to get deep into the details, but I know there's some reasoning behind that. Regardless, we stick with 8 rakats because, especially during weekdays. Weekends, yeah, you can do 20, but weekdays, yeah, we go with 8. I'm definitely 8 rakats. Omo Tanwa, it's been 3 years since I paid 12,300 to Motawif. Oh, I haven't heard that in a long time. From USA, after they sent me approval email to Hajj 2022 and there's no Hajj, no money. I reached out to the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in Saudi, no result. This is the money I work hard for, and these people just stole and got away with it. You think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them? This is such a wrong thing. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they outsourced to a company that I don't even think was handled by Muslims, if I'm not mistaken. But everyone was very, very frustrated with Mutawif, and this was a very, very bad decision on Saudi's part, on the ministry's part. They should not have done that. May Allah grant them hidayat and prevent these kind of things from happening. But if you still haven't gotten any response back, I think, have you tried mailing perhaps to the embassy? To the Saudi embassy? I see you're from USA. Try to reach out to the Saudi embassy. See if you can get a hold of somebody, because this is something that you definitely need to get taken care of. I would even perhaps, it's a pretty good sum of money. I would even perhaps reach out to a lawyer and see if that you can consult a lawyer on this and see if, what can be done, if you can recover anything. They do have to have some sort of a recovery fund or something. I'm sure of that. They do get a lot of funding from all over the world. So I wouldn't be surprised. I really do think that you should reach out to the embassy. That's probably the first thing you want to do. And if you're not getting any results, things like that, you want to reach out to a lawyer. You want to search fraud lawyers and see, what your options are, because that's hard-earned money. And you faithfully tried to put, give the money up front and secure your Hajj packages, but you didn't get anything. You should at least get a refund. That's quite ridiculous. Now, if this happened where, I don't know the full context of what exactly happened, but just based off your comment, I think that's the case. I think you should probably reach out. It sounds like fraud. If there's any other circumstances involved, I'm not too sure, because they do have refund policies, things like that listed. I don't know. I don't recall specifically what Mutawif had, but I know with Nusuk, once you reach a certain amount of days before your package starts, you don't receive any refund at all. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Octavia says, hello, thank you for uploading this video. And I'm curious, did you get a question about flight number? I actually did, yeah, when I was registering. You can look up the flight number. You can just Google it. So whatever is your main city, just look for the flight that gets in the Saudi via Saudi Airlines. It's usually an SV followed by something. I think SV22 was my flight. So you just have to look into that. You can Google that. How long would you stay and when you arrived? On the last question, I believe I did have these questions. And how long you stay, you can just try to put. In general, I like to put 2 weeks. So just put 2 weeks from the day of when you will arrive, and you can Google all the dates too, like of when is Eid al-Adha. So you want to try to do maybe perhaps like 10 days before Eid al-Adha and stay for a few days after. So 2 weeks, 4 days after Eid al-Adha, basically. And that's how you can kind of determine the dates. Salina Chaudhry says, Assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam. I'm stuck on verification for 2 weeks. When will it be done? I see you commented this a while back. I'm sure you're probably done by now, I hope, inshallah. But if you haven't, you're going to have to wait until after Hajj, because during Hajj time, their staff is so busy, you just will not be able to reach them. Then they're probably not focused on verifying accounts right now. They're more focused on processing the Hajj packages that have been purchased and things like that. So something to keep in mind. Brother Ikram says, I live in the Netherlands. Is it possible to buy a package with a flight from Belgium, different country, or is that not allowed? I don't think it'll be a problem, but you'll probably need some sort of a visa or some sort of thing for Belgium. I don't know what the policy is between Netherlands and Belgium, but if you need a visa to enter Belgium, you're going to need that. But other than that, I don't think it's an issue. I think you should be fine. Because think of it this way. Say you were flying from USA, right? And you got to stop over in like Turkey, for example. And you go outside the airport because you have like a 24-hour stay. So you go outside the airport and you come back. Technically you also got immigration from Turkey as well. So I don't think that's really a problem. It's better if you try to stick with Netherlands, but if you can't find a flight, it's too expensive, to go with that. But just make sure to look at the visa requirements, because I don't know about these European countries specifically, like what the case is. So just look into the visa if you need that or not. I'm not sure. I mean, you probably have flown from Belgium before, so that's the reason you're asking. But if you haven't, then definitely look into that. I would definitely advise that. Muhammad Irhuma, Jazakallah khairan, brother. Can you advise on what to do when we are with a group of kids that don't have mobile phones? Is it possible to generate accounts and screenshot the barcode, since login and logout will be time consuming? Also, how much in advance do you recommend getting the permit when leaving your country versus when you land in Jeddah? Jazakallah. So, brother, actually, good news. You don't really need these permits. I mean, I would probably just make one permit, to be honest, just for one of the adults. Or if there's 2-3 adults, just make an account for each one and get permits. But they're not going to check them. This is just as a worst case scenario nowadays. Since pretty early to mid 2023, they haven't really even been consistent in checking permits at all. So you honestly don't even need it. But just as a fail safe, I would still probably keep 1 or 2. So you don't need that many. Don't need to worry about that. And it's not going to be that complicated. Inshallah, you should be fine. But then another brother asked, is it necessary to get Umrah permit if we have tourist visa? You don't need Umrah permits nowadays. Still make one if you can, but you don't really need it. Just like I answered in the other question, you don't really need it. Varisha says, worst website ever. It's absolutely terrible. It looks like they are deliberately trying to trouble those trying to book for pilgrimage from Western country. So, yeah, the site isn't that great, but it's just there's so many people, mashallah, that are going on NUSUK Hajj during the time the packages are available that the website crashes. They can't handle the traffic. It's more of a technical issue than anything. I don't think they're trying to deliberately do it, but they could definitely strengthen that up a little bit. I would definitely say that. Jawad Ahmed Alvi says, do you have knowledge of when we will receive the Hajj visa? I have already bought the package and received the e-tickets, but I'm still waiting for the Hajj and the hotel package details. Usually it comes pretty quick. It depends on when you bought it. I see this comment from a while ago, so you've probably received it by now. But I think ours took a few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks ish, something like that, from the time of purchase, like full purchase, to receiving the visa. So a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. Most likely less than a month. Ashmat Arias Heta says, do we need to bring sleeping bag for Muzdalifah? Also, what items to wash our clothes, since laundry typically becomes very expensive during Hajj period? So it's good if you bring a sleeping bag, because they only provide carpets, and those carpets will run out too. So what a lot of brothers and sisters do is they'll take multiple carpets when they're passing them out. And sometimes they'll pass them out, if they see somebody who needs it, like those brothers who took extra, they'll give it to you. That's actually what happened with us, alhamdulillah. So people are very mindful of others, alhamdulillah. It's really nice to see that. But it would be nice to have a sleeping bag, probably. So that's something you can opt to bring in if you'd like. For washing your clothes, I mean, you're probably not going to stay there for too long. And the good thing is, if especially for males, you're going to be in ihram for a couple of days. So that's just basically you being in ihram. Afterwards, after Yom Nahar and everything, that's when you kind of can wear normal clothes, get out of state of ihram. But I would just bring extra pairs of clothes, because laundry is going to be a little bit tough. There's too many people, and you have a good chance of losing your laundry and things like that. So it's better, instead of trying to bring a laundry solution, I would just advise to bring extra clothes. I know it's gonna be more baggage, but that's probably gonna be the best option, to be honest with you. Ahaga Mexon, Brother Haris, Jazakallah khair for all your efforts and help. Most welcome. Two quick questions. Camp only packages. As per your experience in 2023, do camp only packages appear in the second or third round when they finish up with all the costly hotel packages? Yeah, so camp only packages opened up a little bit later on for us. I believe it was after the second. I believe it was the second round and onwards, and we started seeing them, and that's when I kind of jumped on it, because I was originally going with a hotel package last year, and it was like an Azizia package, and I wasn't really too fond of the details and the specs of it, but I didn't have a choice at that moment. Alhamdulillah, later on I saw that camp only package and I went for that. So saw another video that if we buy a package from NUSUK and we are sort of forced to buy a flight, we can just buy a flight from Dubai to Jeddah and back Jeddah to Dubai, and the other part of the itinerary we can do it by ourselves and have a custom flight. Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. I know some of the packages had flights like that. I think the options I saw were from London, if I'm not mistaken, London and New York. So if you want to buy the other leg, you can do that yourself, but it will be expensive, especially if you're traveling if you're traveling domestic in the West, and you're going to be carrying all that baggage with you. It's very expensive to pay for those extra bags, because you typically don't get any checked baggage in domestic flights. That's something to keep in mind. But I see you want to fly to India, I believe. So I don't think it'll be a problem for you. I think it should not be an issue at all, and that's something that you can definitely do. Salam to all. Says going for 2024 Hajj. Question: do you think the neck fan you bought is good in Saudi heat, or would you have bought another? Any recommendation? Yeah, the neck fan that I actually bought was pretty good. All of them are more or less the same, when it comes to effectiveness. The tents do have AC, so in Mina, like those few days that you're in Mina, just try to avoid being too much outside. Try to just avoid being outside during the daytime as much as you can, except if you're going for prayer or to eat, because the heat is brutal. They do have fans and things like that too outside, but it's it doesn't really help because it's super hot. So the neck fans do help. I would definitely recommend to have those, because any relief is relief, Okay, guys, so I think I'm going to end here. Some of these comments are a little bit older now, and I don't think they're too relevant. So I'm really sorry if I missed your comments. I try to get through as many as I can. And this is something I'm going to be trying to do regularly. My original idea was to kind of do this towards the end of videos, but perhaps it's better just to make a dedicated video. We'll see how this goes. Let's see if you guys find this to be more useful, more helpful. And also something I'll just encourage is, on any latest video, if you even have questions that perhaps pertain to a different video, just comment them on that latest video so that I'll see it. Because if you comment on older videos, a lot of times it gets so buried that I never get to it, and I just miss it completely, and I really don't like to do that. So I know these questions are very crucial, and it's very possible that my knowledge on this topic might actually be beneficial to you and help you out in the situation, and that's my intention, is try to help out. So anyways, I really hope that this was a very helpful video. If it was, make sure as always to like the video. I notice a lot of brothers and sisters watch these videos, but they don't really comment or like or subscribe or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I checked the stats on my channel, and it's like something around 85-86% of viewers are not even subscribed. So it would really mean a lot to me if आप लोग subscribe कर सकते हो to my channel. If you're watching and the content is beneficial to you, it'll only help you and myself in the long run. I'll be able to reach more people that way, alhamdulillah. And if these videos really are helpful to you, the best thing you can do is to hit the bell icon so that anytime I upload a video, you get the notification right on your phone or on your laptop. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Jazakallah khair.